Yorushka with the song Tayo, which basically translates as solar. This is from the second person album that we're going through track by track. Well, I'm excited about this because, as you guys might have noticed when we were doing the track by track, we've had 6 songs with no music video, and now we've got 5 songs in a row that have music videos, this being the first of them. Now, music video doesn't make a song better, but it does definitely tell you that this is one that the powers that be were willing to put some money behind promoting. I think so far we've had an album that has been, again, it's fantastic comments below from you guys have given me so much backstory, and I've learnt a lot over the last few songs and from researching about the band in my own time. But yeah, we're looking at an album that's definitely indulging Nabuna's fondness for using real musicians, doing more core-based songs than songs that kind of go into the usual Vocaloid direction of quick turns and twists. So this is something where it's very much a sound kind of album. Each song kind of sets in a groove and then kind of builds upon it in its own way. So is that going to change with Tayo? Well, let's jump in and find out. As always, actually, I did get one really interesting comment. This was literally today, the day that I'm recording this. These do come out. I schedule these and they come out a little bit after the days I actually record them. So it was probably a week before you watch this or more. But I got a really interesting comment recently where someone said, if you're looking to get into Yorushka, it's like they've got some great singles, but sometimes the videos can distract from the song. And I found that interesting because the one thing I know is that they have a reputation for really interesting videos. The couple that I have seen definitely bear that out. So I'm going to watch this and I'm going to pay attention to the video as it's probably going to be super interesting. But I will try not to let it distract me from the song. Anyway, let's do it. It's Tayo by Yorushka. Immediately very different.
名前も知らずに砂漠の砂丘を飲み干してみたい
I love how the rhythm doesn't make it clear where the first beat really lands.
美しい蝶の羽を私につけて緩やかな速度で追い抜いてゆく
I love how the sounds are stereo panned.
ゆっくりゆっくりとあくびの軽さで行ったり来たりを繰り返しながら
The amount of things happening on the left and right side. Oh, I love that the little jazzy stick drop.
美しい蝶の羽を見た醜い私を知らずに海原を千物見干してゆく少しも道を知らずに美しい林の粉よ地平を染めて
I hear a harmony.
ありえない速度で追い抜いてゆけひらりひらりと木漏れの光で
The chorus has this slowly building chord pattern.
行ったり来たりを繰り返
But it's just projected through this layers and layers of beautiful sound. So the song keeps this building sense of hope. Slightly unresolved note.
私が歩いた道も私の足も私が触った浜も私の指も私が死ぬ日の朝も
Love the way like
あの日々も緩やかな速度で
cello
追い
pops
抜
in.
いて
This is the sounds just popping in.
ゆっくり
sonically, again, this song is so beautifully layered and so beautiful. Just the sound of the instruments wrapping around you, each playing their own thing, just giving you this swell of sounds to just like pick through, all gentle but layered in together so beautifully. Ironically, a little bit like what I think the art's trying to do on screen right now, just kind of surrounding with all these delicate, beautiful things, like their own little mosaic of sound. That sounded artsy when I said that, didn't it? I love the way it just kind of like slowly dies down and then just like you hear the drumsticks put down. It's very sort of like chilled. It's kind of like doing a fade out, but without the twee kind of slightly lameness of a fade out. It's like it's just like no, the song just kind of like dies down and just ends. A little bit of a pitter patter of the drumsticks being put down. This was very, very, very pretty. I will say the video was nice, but didn't in any way distract me. It just was just like passing images. Didn't really seem to sort of like link up with the song much more than just being a beautiful thing that you could see whilst listening to beautiful sounds. So that's fine. I won't say too much about the video because I'm assuming that the artist in question, as talented as they are, might be probably, well, my guess is this is an artist who probably the band are fans of or chose or really like the work. So I'm not going to claim to know much about that style of art except for when something looks pretty, and this all looks pretty. So that's the most I can say about that. When it comes to the song, so yeah, this where this is similar to the songs that came before is probably a quicker thing to talk about than where this differs. So we'll start with the similarities. Similarities, once again, the entire ethos of this album continues in this song in that it's all about very tangible sounds. You know, the recording quality on here is beautiful, and you can tell that's something that Nabana obviously was very driven by. You know, he's clearly gone for the conscious decision to make this album very much about real instruments and, you know, the delicacy of their sound, and so you can tell how much recording that and capturing that is front and center. Because as much as I want to talk about the music, I feel like one of the stars of this album seems to be the way it's recorded as well, because it is so crisp. And again, I feel like this is the word I'm going to come back to over and over again: tangible. Like it sounds like the instruments are right there. You can hear every vibration going through the body of the violin. The cello strings sound thick and full. They don't feel like they're EQ'd to fit around each other. They just feel there. And that's something that you can only do. I mean, yeah, EQing and mixing and all these things are obviously fantastic qualities. I'm sure there's some of that on this album as well. But my point is that one of the reasons why this album gets to sound so full is because a lot of the sounds are quite delicate. So, for example, there's never a huge amount of sounds just sitting on top of each other until we, for example, get to the chorus of this song. And then you can hear, this is definitely the sort of album you have to listen to on headphones or on good speakers, because you can hear when we get into the chorus, everything is moved wide apart in the stereo pattern so that none of the sounds are awkwardly sitting on top of each other, vying for the same kind of set of frequencies in the same space. All the instruments are separated out. You get this very wide sound. And again, that really strikes me as an album that's mixed to keep all the instruments separated so that they don't kind of crush each other. It's a very much an album that's supposed to sound lively and spread out, not sparse, but spread out. To have a sort of a degree of presence. So I think that was very well achieved in this song. But what's interesting is the chorus kind of speaks for itself. As I say, simple 1, 2, 3 kind of chord pattern, building, 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 do it again. And the melody is quite, nice and gentle, and that's all very simple, but it's like a simple kind of calming melody, which is given life by the number of sounds. I mean, again, that chorus, you could just sit there and listen to how different what the strings are playing and the guitars are playing, and how everything is just like this beautiful, thick, kind of like layer cake of really interesting sounds. But what makes that work is that the verses are so sparse by comparison. I mean, yes, you have like the bass and the piano kind of boom, boom, kind of building things up, playing the chords. But then in between, you just have these little sounds popping in and out, like little strings come in here, And then sometimes it will be like little plucked pizzicato strings, and just like every single couple of beats, there's a different sound that you don't expect. But it's like a little welcome surprise. Like, oh, I just heard that. Oh, I just heard this. It kind of takes the song away from becoming too repetitive and formulaic. I really like that. I think we've got a good amount of that in the second verse, which would be about here. Oh, no, it's just chorus. That's the bridge. I mean, just listen to the bass there. Just like the interesting sort of high up on the neck kind of walking around it's doing. Now the drums just landing a bit offbeat. Even there, just between the bass and the drums, they were completely holding together the chord pattern. They were doing all those things, but they were just like landing a little bit offbeat, a little bit, sort of like the snares just kind of offbeat, and then you've got the bass is like it's landing all the chords, but then walking around a bit between. Just these little sort of strange bits of creative flair that don't detract from the song, but they just mean that this more sparse part, the verse, has a lot of character. So what it lacks in the scale and power and just kind of audio lushness of the chorus, it makes up for by being very engagingly quirky. And you can hear they got little plucked strings, and then you've got the sort of it's like the tremolo strings at the same time. All these interesting, very physical sounding instruments. I just think this is a really well crafted song. It's a song that's very much about the tonality as much as anything else, but I just love the way it's layered. I love that the chorus is really punched and they sound so rewarding, coming out of verses that are kind of quirky and interesting. And there's nothing particularly complicated in this song. Once again, that seems to be the ethos of this album. None of the songs are especially complicated, but the nuances and details are expressed really beautifully. I thought this was great. I really enjoyed this. It is, so I think the main difference from the rest of the album is that definitely, well, we've had a couple of songs that have been less core based, that have had more twists and turns. This song definitely has more defined twists and turns than most of the album thus far. But also, it sort of switches, although it keeps that ethos of the more physical, tangible sounding instruments, it switches away from the trumpets and from the funkiness to slightly more like pianos, slightly more delicate string sounds. It's definitely going for that feeling a little bit more here. But anyway, as always, these are my thoughts. Get in the comments, tell me what you think. We're going to jump into the next song after this one. And until I hopefully see you either in that video or anywhere else in the Discord, in the comments, wherever it may be, or in another video. Until then, for now, ciao, ciao.